Hello everyone and welcome back to part 7 in this How to Draw a Dog in Coloured Pencils series. As you can probably see, I have drawn this left ear. I've just been filming this tutorial on my memory card and then my memory card just stopped filming, so I switched to a different one, wouldn't film with that one. So I went to transferred a load of files over and then I went to reformat the memory card and I reformatted the wrong one, so all the footage that I filmed already on this ear I've now lost, which is really annoying. So what I'll do, I'll explain what I've done so far, and then when we do the next ear you'll be able to see exactly how I do it. So all I've done for this ear is a base layer of ivory from the polychromos, just adding a few little hairs here and then pretty much just colouring over this whole bit here. And then I used luminance, Caran d'Ache luminance, brown ochre 10%, and I just used that to add in some little hairs all over, pretty much all over the ear, to start adding in the detail. And then I used burnt ochre, wherever that is, here it is. I used burnt ochre to then start adding in these details here, all over, pretty much all over the ear, focusing more colour in these little darker bits. And then I started using burnt ochre 50% from the luminance, and I've just been concentrating that in this bottom portion of the ear where it is a tiny bit more pink. So that's all I've done so far, but it's so annoying that I filmed it all and now it's gone. But these things happen, so I'll just carry on from where I were, and then when we do the next ear it's the exact same process, so you can then go and recreate it on the other one, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So yeah, let's just carry on where I was up to and hopefully you'll be able to pick it up. Yeah, so very sorry about that, that's so annoying. I mean, technical difficulties are bound to happen at some time, aren't they? But typical. Anyway, we'll have to just carry on as it is. I'm just going to add some more burnt ochre in here, a bit darker. Sort of like doing like a backwards motion. Pressing on quite hard. Then I'm going to add a little bit here as well, on top of this burnt ochre 50% from luminance. Oh, I literally have seen so much stuff in that other video that's now gone, but basically what I was saying is, if you don't have the luminance pencils, I really recommend getting these two, the brown ochre 10% and burnt ochre 50%, just because when you're drawing like sandy, like coloured dogs like this, they come in really handy. I don't have the luminance full set, I just use polychromos and then the odd luminance here and there, so I do buy them individually. So if you can, I recommend that you do that. Do that. I was so annoyed at myself when I lost that footage then. Just gonna add a bit more burnt ochre here. Just to like try and blend that bit out a little bit. I think there was also like a time-lapse video of like a full portrait that I filmed that I've also deleted by accident just then, which is annoying, to say the least. 128 gigabytes worth of videos. I'm just going to use sepia. Sorry, I called it sepia before. The brown ochre 10%. Just, I think I need to add a few more little longer hairs coming off this edge of the ear. Using a really light pressure for this. Just adding a bit more here. Then I'm just going to use a bit of terracotta from the polychromos just to darken this, add a bit more of an orange tone. Just to deepen it up a bit. Just going to blend it out a little bit. A bit more down here. I'm going to add a bit here as well. Orange colours are honestly like the hardest to blend out. They go a bit like patchy. I don't know why, but I always find when I do like a section with a lot of burnt ochre, it just goes a bit funny, a bit patchy. And then I think I'm just going to use a bit of that brown ochre 10% to like blend this all together a bit more. I don't know if you can hear that duck outside. Right. And what I'm going to do is rub out. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll move the camera down a bit. I'm going to rub out these lines faintly. And I'm just going to use sepia 10% to sort of like draw around those little whiskers. So sepia, I keep calling it sepia 10%, it's not, it's brown ochre 10%. Keep that in my head. Right. And I'm going to use the burnt ochre 50% and just add in some detail around those whiskers. Right, I was saying before on the first clip that I filmed that sorry if this video is a bit late. There was a bit of a gap since the last one. I've been just making the most of the weather really, and when I've not filmed in a while, I get a bit nervous to film it again. So I've been putting it off a little bit. So yeah, sorry it's a bit later this time. And then I think I'm just gonna adding a bit of ivory there. Should have probably put ivory down first. These whiskers are really thin, so I'm just going to make sure that I leave them quite thin. Just going to bring that up a little bit. The burnt ochre 50%. I feel a bit all over the place now I've lost that video. Then what I'm going to do is use some burnt sienna from the polychromos just to start adding some really dark shadow in here. Just really lightly, gradually adding it in. I'm just going to add some to this bit, really lightly, some little fur strokes. Make sure they're nice and blended out. Just going to add a few here as well, and sort of doing those little triangle shapes where you do like one hair going one way and one going another, just so that they look a bit more natural. A few longer ones, just to blend it out. And what I'm going to do is use, where is it? Nougat. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that in between that gap where the ear and the face meets, just so it looks a bit less random. Tiny bit between those whiskers. And a tiny bit. Maybe not that much. Just to sort of meet them together a little bit. Add a bit more burnt sienna here. And I'm going to add a tiny bit here as well. Really softly. Just going to add a bit more burnt ochre, 50%. Right. I think we'll leave that here at like that for now. I'm just going to add in the ends of these whiskers here. Don't know what that little black dot is. Nine. But going to use nougat just to extend those whiskers really faintly. So that. Might even just dab it a bit with the rubber so that it's a bit more blended. And same again here. They don't have to be perfectly identical to the picture, just as long as they follow a natural looking shape. that. Gonna add one there. Like that. Again, just sort of fade out the ends with the rubber, like that. Right, we're going to move on to the other ear now. So I'll just move the camera. Right, so this time you're actually going to be able to see the full process of drawing the ear. So let's start. So I'm going to just erase some of those pencil lines really faintly, and I'm going to add some ivory, just long sort of hair strokes where the fur sort of like fans out here. Oh, I said in the video earlier, thank you so much to everyone who's messaged me saying they've been enjoying the tutorials. I've had quite a few messages on like Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and I've had like some pictures of your own work during this tutorial. So yeah, if you are drawing along with me, I'd love to see your pictures. So just send me a message on Instagram or Facebook or something. Honestly, I love it when you send me stuff like that, because I always think like, oh, I don't know if anyone actually watches them, but yeah, it's nice to know that people find them useful. I'll just leave it as that for now. I don't like to do too big of a section. Then I'm going to use the Luminance Brown Ochre 10% again. Sorry, is it brown ochre? Yeah, brown ochre. And just going to start adding in some more hair stroke details. I'm making them a little bit more prominent on this side because you can see a lot more separation between the hairs and stuff, because it's a bit closer to the camera than the other ear. The thing to remember with portraits is you don't always have to draw every single detail. So like the other ear, because it's further away, you can get away with making it less detailed. And then if you focus detail on like small sections that are a bit closer, it creates the overall illusion of detail, if that makes any sense. My pencil sharpener is so loud. Right. Just a few. Right, then I'm just gonna carry on adding a bit more of the base colour, bring it down a little bit. So ivory, I'm not afraid to just like whack it on. Right, that'll do for now. Then using that brown ochre 10% again, just to carry on adding in detail. Making sure to always follow like the direction the fur is going in on the picture. Okie dokie. Then I'm going to use burnt ochre and just start adding in even more depth to that detail. Sort of leaving this bit lighter and starting it from around here. Ooh, paper's flying about. So I'm just concentrating most of the colour around here and around here, because this bit's lighter and this bit's lighter. So just sort of like building up that shape. And then I'm just gonna bring the base down a bit more. Sorry about that. So bring in that ivory all the way down here. And then I'm going to add more depth once I've done like the whole ear. Just creating a few longer hairs here. And using that brown ochre 10% again. And adding in a bit more detail. always making sure that you're paying attention to which direction the fur is going in. That's like one of my #1 top tips for drawing animals. Just constantly keep checking the reference and make sure you're moving in the right direction. Makes such a difference. I find it takes a long time to build up fur with this colour. I don't know why, but it does see doesn't go on quite as pigmented as other colours. I think that's probably why. But it does look lovely once it's done. Right, and then I'm going to use burnt ochre again, same thing. Just concentrating a lot of the colour on this part of the ear. Then just gonna bring that base round and that last bit of the ear. Then I'm going to use that brown ochre, 10%, and just carry on adding in that first layer of detail. Pressing relatively hard now as well. Then carry on with that burnt ochre again. Just same again. Adding in that second layer of detail. Just gonna add a bit more. Okay, so it is actually a different day now. I had to stop filming because I ran out of time. So we'll just crack on from where we were up to. So I think I was just using burnt ochre to add in these details. I'm just gonna start darkening it up a little bit. This tutorial's been a little bit all over the place, sorry. And I did fit tan last night, so my hands might be a bit more orange now. Just pressing on a bit harder, just to try and add even more detail in on top of what we've already added. Just going to add a little bit more here. And then a little bit more here. Just wherever you feel like you need to add a little bit more. Right. Then next I'm going to use that burnt ochre 50% from Luminance, and just where there's a little bit more of like a pink tone, I'm just going to add a bit of that here. Still using the same sort of hair stroke technique. just gradually building up that next colour. Bit here as well. And then a little bit here. So joining those two sections up there. I'm going to add a little bit here actually. And here. Just adds a nice little bit of a different tone in. Right, that'll do for now. Then I'm going to use Terracotta from the Polychromos, slightly darker orange sort of colour. I'm just going to try and pick out a little bit more detail. Just around here where it's quite vibrant. Then I'm going to use a bit of burnt sienna from the Polychromos, and I'm just going to start picking out a little bit more detail. Really lightly. And just here on this outer part. Oh. Following that direction of the fur round. Just really gradually building up that depth. I'm focusing a lot of this around this area here, which is a lot darker on the picture than the rest of the ear. It's kind of doing those like little like triangular shapes of fur as well. I'm just going to use a bit more of the Burnt Ochre 50% Luminance pencil, just to kind of like blend those bits together a little more. I think it needs a bit more warmth to lift it. That's better. Getting there now. I do find that ears take me quite a long time. Just going to start bringing that colour up a little bit more here. I love this colour, it's such a nice tone. Blend it up a bit here as well. And I'm going to blend it down here as well. Right, and then I'm going to go back to that burnt sienna again and just pick out even more detail. I'm going to press on a bit harder this time as well, apply a little bit more pressure. Right, I've decided we're going to use some more terracotta. I think this bit needs a bit more of an orange tone. A bit more here. you see how it's just sort of bringing it all together a little bit? Sometimes it takes a bit of trial and error to figure out the best colours to use. There's a lot of going back over bits that you've done on the ears. They're a lot darker than the rest of the face, so you definitely need a little bit more like work put in. And I like quite a blended look, so I do spend a long time on it. Right, it is starting to really take shape now. Right. Then I think I am going to go back with the dark sienna and just add a few more darker strokes. A lot shorter little strokes for this. Just going to try and blend them out a bit. Just going to concentrate a bit more of it around here. Gonna add a little bit more. Just pressing on a little bit harder now. And I'm just gonna add a little bit more just here. And then blend this bit out. Right, I'm just going to zoom the camera out and then we can see if we need to do any more to both ears. So I'll be right back. So I'm going to use that burnt sienna again, and I'm just going to add a bit more on this ear. Just around here. And I'm just going to darken this bit up. And a little bit more around here. And a little bit on these edges again. Then I'm just going to use brown ochre 10% luminance and just define these little hairs even more. Then I'm going to use some of the burnt ochre 50% luminance, and I'm just going to add a bit more just to define the edge of that ear. Right, just gonna use my rubber and rub those little darker bits that have popped up. There we go. And on this here, I think I will, I'm going to bring that down a tiny bit more. It's a tiny bit. And then just going to add a few more strokes of this. And down here on the edge. Just building up the colour on the edge of the ear. Tiny bit more here. A bit more here. Darken it up a little bit. Oh. A few more like little darker bits here. And I think I'll just add a tiny bit more to this left side. Then I'm pretty much happy with that for now. So yes, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry this one was a little bit like all over the place. That lost footage just, yeah, not good. So I hope you've enjoyed it regardless, and thank you for your patience waiting. Next time we'll start on the neck. So yes, make sure to subscribe and stick around for the next part in this series. Thank you for watching.